Rolling.
It's showtime, folks.
But first, dad jokes.
My children used to ask me a lot of questions. They no longer ask me questions because I figured out a system in my home. I've given them both a notebook and a pen. And 3 times a day in my home, I hold a press conference. And that is the only time you are allowed to ask me a question. And then I start. Thank you for coming. Go ahead and start the press conference. Go ahead and go, Olivia, ladies first. First question. Why does your puppy dog stick to the refrigerator? Well, it's a picture of a puppy. There's a magnet on the back of it. The magnets stick to metal. The refrigerator's made of metal. That's why your puppy dog sticks to the refrigerator. Great question. Isaac, next question. Yeah, sometimes the green jelly beans can be tricky. You stick it in your mouth, you think it's lime, and it's spearmint, and spearmint sucks. Right? Watch your ass, smell your jelly beans. Great question. Olivia, next question. There is a magnet on the back of it. Isaac, next question. Why does your sister cry all the time? Well, that's a great question. I think a lot of people in this house want an answer to that. For starters, as you know, we have wooden floors all over our home, and she runs around in wool socks like there's not going to be consequences. Not to mention the fact that Crazy never watches where she's going. Do you remember when she hit her face on the side mirror of my car? Oh my God, how did you not see your face coming at you? You never thought, there's my face, but here's my face. Question of the year, buddy. Question of the year. Olivia, next question. It is a fucking magnet.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Oh, love me. Some Chad. That's double the Chad already today. That's Chad Daniels kicking us off on the Dad's Home podcast. And
we're everywhere.
Yeah, it's Chad as far as the eye can see. And welcome into the Dad's Home podcast. I'm Bauer. That is the Chad. Welcome, sir, to another week of Dad's Home podcast. Boy, is this going to be a jam-packed one here. Have you ever heard something at an auto parts store that just made you go, wait, am I in an auto parts store?
I was at an auto parts store this week, and
maybe you heard what I heard.
It's possible. I can't wait.
Okay, so first of all, first things first, you mentioned this a moment ago before we went on the air here, and that is how cold is it where you are? Because here in Michigan, well, you start first. You're in Austin, Texas, and where you sit right now, what is the temperature in Austin, Texas?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially 39 degrees, and it's March 11th, folks.
That shit's not supposed to happen like that, Chad.
No.
Like, okay, so you said what the temperature once again is 39 degrees?
39 degrees.
As I look here to my left on my Google, in Detroit, Michigan, 31 degrees. A little cooler. I mean, I don't think about 15, 20 minutes ago outside this window, it was snowing. I don't think you guys have that happening there today, do you?
No snow. I mean, the wind chill here has got to be less than 31, though. Because the wind is blowing, so...
is this that kind of real? Do the scorpions fall out of trees? What fall? Does the shit freezes in Texas and then falls out of trees, doesn't it? Is it scorpions or Republicans? Because I don't remember.
It's isn't that really one and the same thing?
So it's interesting you bring that up. I want to highlight, and I want to ask this question because I feel like I talked about this a shit ton of day in my day job, my other job, where I do news for a living. And today was a day I was reporting on what is going to be coming up this spring and into the summer, a giant infestation of huge spiders making its way up the East Coast, starting from Georgia and making its way up the East Coast. This Japanese spider, the Joro spider, is going to start there. They start as babies because they're so cute when they're little babies before they get to be the size of your fucking hand. And then when they're little babies, the teeny tiny, a little bit of web comes out, and it's like a little parachute. Oh, isn't it cute? Like, oh, it's so cute. The wind takes them just wherever the wind takes them. And supposedly there's so many millions of these babies that they're going to go up and down the entire East Coast. So, hey, sleep well, East Coast. But the thing is that they grow by June to be the size of, you look at your palm here, and the span from here to here, 3 inches, that's how big these fucking spiders are going to get. And they're not, fuzzy. Like they're big, like black widow looking spiders with all kinds of colors, and they put webs that are 10 foot wide up. And all I kept thinking is, fuck, I'm a dad. I'm going to have to take care of that spider.
Look,
it's going to fall on me. It will be my job.
Yeah. Here's my reporting on that. East Coast, grow a pair.
Well, specifically with the shit you deal with in Texas. Yes.
I was going to say, like, all the fucking critters that we have down here with spiders alone. Like, I've seen spiders that size on a regular basis. Now, granted, they don't live in my house because, I pay some guy to spray for that shit. But we often spend time down at a ranch. And I mean, no shit. Like, you walk into the bathroom in the middle of the night on this ranch, there's a spider web that has been, made across the doorway. So you walk in and it's, you're
a hard pass for me. That's a hard pass.
It's like you're in a Scooby-Doo cartoon, right? Like,
I have been there. I have yelled. I've screamed, like walking out of a cabin in the middle of the night, just pitch black out, and you get the thing across the eyes, and you're just slapping your faces.
Because you assume that the spider's in there and it's like gonna eat your eye, right?
Like I'm thinking I'm so lucky I just got the web part right here, but what's over here? That's the part that's freaking me out right now.
And then you're standing in front of the urinal, right? It's 1:30 in the morning.
Hold on, let me ask you this. Has it become a custom now for you when you go to this camp and you're camping regularly?
Yeah.
That when you go to the toilet, are you checking? Remember arachnophobia? Remember the movie Arachnophobia?
No, that's where I was going with this. Was you are looking around like over your shoulder in the urinal, underneath stuff.
Like you've never. I bet you when you've cleaned a bathroom, you haven't checked that bathroom as thoroughly as you do when you're out at a place where there could be spiders.
No. Yeah, my only goal is like, please don't attack my dick. But I don't want a spider to jump out while I'm going to the bathroom and be like, hey, how's it going? Right on top of the junk.
First of all, the talking spider's my favorite. If there's a spider that jumps on my junk, fuck it, dance. I don't care. Have at it. Whatever you're gonna, like a little froggy song. Go at it. Have that.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my Clementine.
The top hat. Hey.
Yes, one of the greatest Warner Brothers cartoons ever.
A hard pass on that. There's no.
So yeah, just look.
My question to you: those spiders that big? You ever?
Oh yeah.
You ever see them on do they make a big giant web too? You ever see them?
Oh yeah, dude. It's down here.
Do I need a flamethrower if I'm gonna have to take care of this in my backyard, or am I set with like one of those the cans of like the chefs use on the cooking channels to kind of make a little creme brulee, the crispiness? Am I safe with that? Like, can I get close enough with that, or do I need the distance of a torch?
Well, I think it depends on your constitution, right?
Yeah.
What are you made of?
I'm a pussy.
Because
that's what I'm made of. So for me, I have a threshold. I'm the guy who I definitively am I'm the bug hunter in the house. So during the spring and the summer, I'm the one that, like, the girls, we get the girls to clean the bathroom. My wife kind of is working on downstairs, and if I hear and I know a spider, I go get the handheld Dyson vac, and I'm getting the thing wherever it is. But there's a threshold, like a small little wolf spider. So fine, no problem, daddies. I'll get a fucking Kleenex. I'll crunch it in my hands. Fine with that. No problemo. Something as big as my hand, that's where I'm. That's a hard pass for me right now.
Well, and so yeah, the way that we do it down here in Texas is we catch grasshoppers.
Okay.
And that becomes our bait and switch, if you will, because it really truly is bait, right? So let's say spiders coming after you, right?
Yeah.
Grab yourself one of these grasshoppers, chuck it into the web.
Okay.
Right. The spider's like, oh shit, something just hit my web.
Wait, what is that? Forget that big thing I'm chasing after, who clearly has more fat on his bones. It would make me full. Forget him.
Yeah,
Forget
easy
Captain
catch.
Love
Easy
handles
catch.
over there. What do you got that's hitting my net right now?
Exactly. So
So hold on. I just
flamethrower.
I
or
imagine you first of all,
grasshoppers.
when you're camping, then it's cargo shorts, and in each pocket there are just a bunch of crickets, and that way, in case there's a spider that you run into, you're fucking throwing crickets at it left and right. It's like over the shoulder.
Yeah, throwing them out like a flower girl at a wedding.
You're like a Skittles commercial, only with some fucking crickets to get the spiders away.
Taste the crickets, spiders. Taste the crickets.
The rainbow of crickets. All right. Well, first of all, again, welcome to the podcast. I'm enjoying. I don't know if you can see this. This is my tribute to Texas. Here. I made ranch water here at home.
You know what's wild is I was going to make one of those, but I ran out of time. Because I had a Mexican martini at lunch, and then lunch went long.
Okay, not
and
wrong.
I had to come
long.
home. No, it long, not wrong.
Gotcha.
Made my way home, and I was like, I should make myself a drink.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, just pour some whiskey. So I'm just doing straight old whiskey.
That's great. Today. It looks delicious. This is for me. I got this down in Texas. They've had to-go kits at barbecue places in Texas during COVID. I don't know if they do it now still, if they've kept it up, but
they did.
You can go and you can get the tequila. You can get the Topo Chico, which is one of my favorite, just sparkling waters. I get the lemon flavored one because it's the best. And then you have the tequila that I squeeze like half a lime into this, and then a little wedge of lime that I'm pretty sure you can see in there as well. It's absolutely amazing. It's the best to me because it's like a margarita without a bar that's put the fucking sweet and sour sauce in that hurts your stomach. It's the rest of it. It's the part that's good.
It's a margarita light. You know?
Yes, exactly. So we're drinking. Happy
Friday
weekend
fiesta.
for Father's Day for Father Dad's Home Podcast. But let me bring this to your attention now, Chad. You said you've been to an auto parts store recently. I was at one getting some just simple thing. I needed to refill the washer fluid in the car because there's been shitty weather out here. Everything's like the snow's sticking. You got the salt everywhere, and so you got to get I was running out to get my little car. Gave me alarm time to go run and get it. So I'm just gonna go run in real quick. I'm right by the place that sounds like Schmotto Zone, and I'm just gonna grab my no free plugs here on the show. Although if they want to reach out and sponsor, we're here. I'm just gonna go get some of this and pour it in. And as I'm waiting in line, it's not a long line, just a couple of people. A couple of guys come walking in, look like athletes from like the local high school or something that just were practicing. And this was the phrase that I overheard as I was finished ringing up and just getting to walk past them on the way out. This was the phrase I heard. So please tell me if you've heard this at the auto parts store. Well, that's gayer than what we did, right? Have you ever heard that in an auto parts? Have you ever heard that? I mean, has that line ever been uttered in your presence before?
So, yes, say that again. And how did they? What words were emphasized? You heard it.
That's where I heard the start of the conversation.
Right.
I don't know
so
what
just right there. Nothing before, nothing after.
I was almost passing them on the way out with my bottle of orange windshield washer fluid when one said to the other. I had to write it down just so I make sure I have it here. That's gayer than what we did, right? So, my first thought and my first reaction, as I'm sure any good person's reaction would be, is I look at myself like, am I wearing something gay? Like, what am I? Like, they saw what I know, right? And
rainbow,
like, clearly gayer.
Am I representing? Yeah. What's
so?
Or maybe buying orange wet with fluid is gay. Like
maybe that's it. Maybe if you like blue's cool, but if you get orange, dude, that guy's sucking cock. That's what's happening.
Here's what I wonder about.
Oh my god.
So if you were in the 20s or 30s, right, and you were walking past these guys, right, and you heard them say that, do you think nothing of it? Just like, oh, those are a couple of party boys, right? Because back then it had a different context, different connotation.
Right.
Yeah. Fast forward to today, and it raises a lot of questions. Couple of high school athletes. What was was it something in the auto parts store that fired up that conversation? I finished convincing myself I wasn't wearing something gay. Right. After I had fully wrapped that up, I even looked at my shoes. I'm like, am I wearing gay shoes? These are my Converse Chucks. I don't think those are. I never knew them to be gay. Okay. And listen, not that there's anything wrong with it. Just if you know, like if Converse is a symbol,
right?
Please let us know at Twitter.
Please
just let us know on Twitter.
Dad's Home Podcast, and please explain, because I need to know details. Don't just say it's fucking gay. I need to know the details as to how that has become gay or taken over by the gays. I don't know, but in either case, I need to know the details on that. Just so I'm clear, because I'm searching. I'm literally standing out in front of AutoZone, searching myself up and down. Can I clear myself right now? I'm like a cop in a room, like clear. I'm checking everything I've got. Am I wearing a dress? Am I wearing a kilt? What's happening?
Do I have one of those spiders those Japanese spiders on me? Is that
all right? So let's try to put this into, at least let's try to create something that we can walk away from this saying again. That's gayer than what we did, right? Oh my God. And try to put some context to this that makes some sense, so that at the end of this day, I'm just like, okay, that was just a random sentence somebody said. It didn't actually mean anything. Because then in my head, I'm going, were these a couple of gay guys? I don't. Was this a couple? Did I miss out on them being a couple? I don't.
Right.
Were they
right? So to your point, like, right. Were they like, is there this thing now? It's like, hey, I'm more gay than you. Like,
I'm thinking to myself, it's the afternoon. I don't think they just got out of Fred Astaire dance lessons and they were like, ballroom dancing.
So two things here. One, there definitely is a fun story to concoct here, because high school athletes.
Just so we're clear, I want to make sure clear. You said concoct with a T. Just want to make sure we're all clear on that. Okay.
Yeah. I might have even spelled it with the CKED on the end too. Just
well, that would be gayer than what we did, right?
For sure. If I spelled it that way.
Maybe it was something like that. Maybe, for all we know, maybe they were just in the car on their way to AutoZone, right? And they made a prank call to somebody. Maybe they were giving one of their guy friends a ton of shit about something, right? Maybe he didn't hook up with the girl like they all planned on him, or he was bragging or talking shit about doing. And so they gave him a shit in a phone call and then came out. And I just happened to be walking out when they're walking in, talking about how great that phone call goes. Well, that was gayer than what we did, right?
It's so, and I will say this. So I have a bunch of buddies from high school that I still hang out with. It's that we all get together once a year in Vegas. Right. And it used to be that it was debaucherous. Now it's like we just sit around and watch sports because we're all old and,
hey, you want to go on a gamble?
Oh. Yeah. I know. Oh God, I don't know. My bursitis. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Matlock's on next.
Yeah. But for us, Matlock is friends. We're like, but this is the one where Joey, did you see that? This is the one Joey does that thing. It's really funny. That's the one.
So those guys, we do fuck around like this all the time, right? We have the running text stream, like all the good groups of buddies, right? Where you're going back and forth, you're giving each other shit. And
balls,
I'm sure pretty much if I look back in our text stream, the words "that was gayer than what we did" probably is in there someplace. I'll search it up and let everybody know. But
all right,
it's one of those terms. Like if you're with your buddies, like there's definitely that like, hey, fuck around, joke around about it, because we as men all have this weird like, well, I'm not gay,
right?
Even though you might be a little bit on the spectrum. Like you might watch some porn and you might be watching some guy pound some girl, and you're like, God, he's got a nice cock. Oh wait, am I gay?
I mean, that's just a compliment more than anything else to him.
It could be, right? Yeah, right. So we're all self-conscious about it. So there's that piece of it. But it's more fun to think about these two guys, like, in the shower at the high school. Right. The towel falls off,
right?
And the guy reaches over and smacks the other guy's dick.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's what we did, right?
Right. That's scarier than what we did, right?
Or some level, you were gonna take the freshman kid that's playing on the, I don't know, we'll call it football team. They didn't look like, maybe basketball. And they're gonna take the freshman on the basketball team, and they're gonna, how they used to, back when I was in high school, way back when I rode the Tyrannosaurus, and they would pants you and throw you out of the locker room. I went to a very big school, so they pants you and throw you out of the locker room. So now you're out there kind of naked, and they're holding the door for like the next, 30 seconds until you scream enough that they let you back in. I'm wondering if something like that had happened, but then in the process of that, like one dude got pushed into another dude and his ball bag went up against a leg, or you know what I mean? Like something like that where they go, that was so funny, but that was totally gayer than what we did, right? What do you think? Does that work?
I buy that. I buy that. And this goes, This also goes back to last episode where I said, humans' brains aren't developed till they're 25. So I'm sure there's some immaturity here.
No, you think?
Maybe a little. Maybe a little.
I make the argument of this, and this is how I'm going to wrap this up before we get into your nice twits. And I mean, they are fantastic. They look
Thank you.
Spectacular.
That's what all the ladies say.
Is that while we're talking about that 25 where you're supposed to mature, I thought we were done with truck nuts.
Have they made their way to Michigan?
Because I saw the combination that I don't think I've ever seen in my life, and I don't know necessarily what to make of it. I chuckled when I first saw it, and then because I saw the vehicle first, it was a truck. It was I don't even know what kind of truck. To me, it looked like, I don't know, one of those Chevys. It's kind of like the half truck on the back part, like it's got the 4-seater cab, but then it's got like the shortened bed, and I don't.
Sure.
I think Honda had one of them. I don't even know what the fuck they are, but the point is, when I saw, I was sitting at the light going to pick up my daughter from class, and what caught my eye was the 01 painted on the side of the truck, as in an orange truck, as in the Dukes of Hazzard General Lee.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm like, whoa, all right, that's I probably haven't seen one of those since 1982. So okay.
Oh yeah.
Good on you. That's way retro. I appreciate that. He looked like he was probably under the age of 25. I could be wrong on that one. But under the age of 25, what are you doing with the fucking General Lee truck? You don't get a General Lee truck. Even if you were born the day the Dukes of Hazzard movie with Johnny Knoxville and Jessica Simpson came out, you still wouldn't be old enough to honor the General Lee the way that you're doing right now. So I thought that was weird. But as the truck left the light and I'm stopped at the light and he's leaving past the light, I noticed the matching orange truck nuts. Plastic, veiny truck nuts. And I thought to myself,
on a General Lee truck.
Holy shit. What is happening here? What I thought we were done with it all. Can we put an end to this? I think there needs to be like a dad's home. You know how like sometimes you'll go to a shopping center and there'll be a business card somebody puts on your car, like I'm blind and I need money or whatever it is. Like there, come see our car detailing service, whatever the fucking thing. We need one that we can just put on the General Lee truck with the truck nuts. Like, dude, seriously? Like it just needs to say that. That's all it says on there. And you could have a little blank at the bottom that you can put truck nuts in. You know, you can just write truck.
I like it. Yeah, it's like we go through life, we notice things. It says dude, and then blank, and you just fill that in, leave it on their windshield for them.
Yeah.
You know, you've been Dad's Home podcasted.
Yeah. Just on the front side, it just says really with a question mark and exclamation point. On the other side, it says dude, and then a blank line underneath. And that's what you put in there. Whatever it is that you saw that you're like, dude, come on, really? All right. When we come back, Chad has, how many tweets did you say you came up with? 5?
I got 5. And so there could be a couple runners up. There's really a top 3. So I'll break them down 5 through 1.
All right. When we come back and we'll take a look and see who has the top parental, possibly even dad tweet. It's a Dad's Home tweet of the week for sure. And hey, nice twits. That's coming up next here at the Dad's Home podcast. Stick around.
Can I get you a drink?
Beer.
All I've got is Miller High Life.
Well, that's too bad. I was hoping you were going to give me a golden shower.
From the pristine bowels of New York City's East River comes the refreshing taste of Golden Shower Ale. Once you break the seal, you're in luck. Finally a beer with a natural taste. Let a golden shower trickle on your face.
Hey man, good game.
Yeah, you too. Man, I could really go for a golden shower.
Really? Well, you're in luck.
We recommend you serve Golden Shower at 98.6 degrees. Smooth going down and smooth coming out. Golden Shower! Golden Shower has the distinct taste you're going to get used to. Golden Shower!
Thanks for the golden shower. Now I want a 30 Sanchez.
Tuck her up, I'll open up.
Golden Shower Ale. Go ahead, relieve yourself. This is a clearly not metrosexual moment in history. The Dragon Slayer.
Von Pardue, a man in Montgomery County, Texas, was attacked by a neighborhood pit bull recently. The dog bit hard into Pardue's hand and refused to release its clench. But Pardue didn't complain the dog had ruined his manicured fingernails and their shiny, translucent nail polish. Why not? Because he didn't have any girly nail polish on. In fact, he doesn't even know what the word manicure means. He thinks it's when a guy gets better. With the snarling beast still digging into his hand, Pardue didn't pull some wussy crap and try to reason with the animal. He didn't say, let's compromise, let's pass a UN resolution, let's talk about your problems. Did you have a rough childhood? Hell no. The Texan dragged the 1-foot-tall fanged monster a full block and a half to his house, where he then, according to police, choked it to death. No real man like Pardue is going to let that pit bull off with a warning. It's one strike and you're strangled to death. He's judge, jury, and executioner. And more importantly, he's a real man. And now, Dragon Slayer. This has been Lee Camp. For more funny crap, check out leecamp.net and sharkbaby.com.
Welcome back to the Dad's Home Podcast. I am Bauer. That is Chad. Quickly before we get into the Hey Nice Twits portion of things here at the Chad, I was going through a bunch of ideas for, dad's hacks and tweets, and I was noticing a lot of people out there, dad-wise, start to brag. I'm going to call it a humble brag if you want, but it's kind of a brag about the collections that they have, things that they're collecting as dads, or may have started collecting when they were kids, but now have held on to while they're dads. And I thought we should offer up a spot for dads here with the Dad's Home Podcast to talk about their collections too, whatever it may be, something that they're proud of, something that they may keep well hidden from their family, depending. Like I remember when my wife Kim and I got married, I had a collection of cartoon art. I had like Sears Cells, I had Warner Brothers stuff, and when we got married, Kim's like, "You're not hanging that up in the house." And so I was destined to put it down in the basement. And that's kind of where that cartoon art lived until eventually I ended up selling most of it. I still have a couple. I've got an Animaniacs piece here and stuff, but that was largely it. Now, as a dad, I'll kindly show this off. From my youth growing up, I used to love, back in the late 70s, the Mattel Electronics handheld games.
Oh,
like the baseball or football 9-volt battery, LED games. Here's the thing. I've got a collection. I've got quite a collection. I've got about 25 of these things, almost 30 of these things.
Whoa.
I made more than just the football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. And I was thinking it might not be a bad idea to see, like, do you have any collection? Do you have things that you collect?
God,
Star Wars action figures?
I wish, I had a shit ton of those when I was a kid. I also had a shit ton of G.I. Joe stuff as a kid. I know up until within the 10 years ago, I had G.I. Joe stuff in a box in my house someplace. And I was like, I'm sure I started saving that thinking, oh, someday I'll have a boy. And of course, who's the girl dad? This guy.
Right.
And they're like, G.I. Joe, what the fuck is that? Right. No, dragons, dad, dragons.
Yeah.
That may or may not still be in a box someplace in our house. I would say right now my biggest collection is probably like fucking softball gear. Like I've got boxes and boxes of that shit out in the garage. I just need to sell it, get rid of it. But yeah, it's not a collection.
You got equipment that won't fit any of your kids right now.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Size 3 cleats someplace. Sure.
I think we open the door and we at least offer it up for our dads who are proud of their collection to let us know. Maybe we'll name a collection of the week here on the Dad's Home Podcast and highlight your collection at Twitter at Dad's Home Podcast. This has the cool thing about this is had the I can still play it. So I'm going to see if I can get you can still get the sound. If you hit a home run, which I don't do very often in this game, you can get this killer sound that goes. It makes. I mean, it wasn't much on the technological side. But it was in the
80s when it came out. That was like, cutting edge shit.
Right. And then they decided again to come out with a version of it like in the 2000s, but it wasn't the same LED version. It was like a newer version, new technology. But you kind of like in the football game, you'd press the buttons really hard to try to get the guy running really fast. And it was awesome. In these new ones, like you can just hold it down. You're like, that sucks.
No, it's not the same.
Nothing like this.
Yeah, that repetitive, injury motion or, repetitive motion injury you'd get with your thumb or your finger playing that game.
You're not kidding me. So, anyways, any of the highlight, whatever it is that you've got as a collection, you got Pogs. Let us know about it. You guys, on some level, you're holding on to the Beanie Babies. Okay. I had a buddy of mine who had his entire garage was wrestling action figures, and he had made a ring in the center of the garage that was like one of the cool like toy rings for it. And he had, characters up on like shelves that go to the ceiling, and every shelf the whole way around was filled with wrestling characters on some level. So whatever it is your collection, feel free to hit us up. If you're still holding on to a major DVD collection or VHS collection, if you've got it, all right, just let us know what it is and hit us up on Twitter at Dad's Home Podcast, at Dad's Home Podcast. All right, Chad, are you ready with your tweets?
Let's go.
I got an intro for you, so let's do it.
Twitter, tweet, Twitter.
Motorboat.
Nice twits.
All right, Chad's got 5 parental tweets that he's going to share with us here. We are going to determine which one is the tweet of the week in Hey Nice Twits. Chad.
So the other 4 are parental. This one is just near and dear to my heart.
Oh, okay.
I had to throw this one in there as like the, honorable mention.
Gotcha.
One.
It's sort of the play-in when we're doing our tournament type of thing.
It is. Yeah. This is from at Stone Age Radio 13. And he wrote, I post, and there's a visual of 5 green boxes.
Okay.
On Facebook every day. I don't play Wordle, but it drives my family nuts.
Are you a Wordle guy? Are you playing Wordle these days?
The wife plays Wordle. She's like, did you get it today? And I'm like, God. And it's that, husband-wife competition thing. So I got to do it.
I had that. Kim did that with me with Words with Friends for a while there. And then I did this. This is what I'm not saying this works for everybody, and I wouldn't suggest it, but this is what I chose to do. I had Pat Sajak on my show. And, from Wheel of Fortune fame, what do you do on Wheel of Fortune? Well, you're kind of spinning those words, making the words work, right? So Pat Sajak was on my show, and one of the questions I asked him was, do you play Words with Friends? He's like, yeah. I'm like, let me put you in touch with my wife. So my wife played Pat Sajak once, kicked his ass. I can say this clearly. She kicked his ass and then challenged him again, and he ghosted her. Never played her again. So I don't.
Hey, I know how to play chess. Let me introduce you to Kasparov over here. He's a buddy of mine.
Right. Exactly. That's kind of the way it worked for me. All right, so that's a good solid one. I haven't played. I haven't made my way into the Wordle realm at all, and I'm hoping I can get away with not before it passes on.
That would be good. That'd be good. And okay, so number 4 on my list is a subject near and dear to my heart, which is dad jokes.
Yes.
We all have those. I have a running gag with Kate, my oldest. She's a dad joke connoisseur.
She's not embarrassed by the dad joke. She likes the dad joke.
She'll throw it down. Like, she'll at dinner, she'll say, hey dad, X, dad joke. And I'm sitting there trying to guess it. Right. And then she'll throw down with the lines. It's fantastic. It's a great little thing we got going back. And so, this is at desert_musings. California Dreaming is her name.
Okay.
She wrote this morning before the coffee even hit. Son, what do you get from a dwarf cow?
What do you get from a dwarf cow?
Yeah.
I'm going to say a small milk. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the answer is.
Close. Condensed milk.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Condensed milk is good.
Yeah. And then she finished it off saying, don't lie. You laugh too. So that's why that one got me. Cause
it's a good
dad joke. I'm like, condensed milk. You bet.
Look, here's the thing, dads, realize this if you don't now, and you got time to get this going if you've got youngins. Hold on to those dad jokes. Use them. You're going to want to use them. There will be a time when those fucking things are getting called out every single day on the way to school, while you're picking somebody up from school. Kids will want to hear those things over and over again, even if it's to embarrass you to do it. But keep a hold of those dad jokes. You're going to need them.
They're fantastic in moments where like your kids had a bad day. They get in the car, they've got that look on their face.
Yes.
If you can throw it down with a dad joke, it snaps them out legit. And mostly even if you just get the eye roll from them,
yeah,
you've done your job, right?
Well,
You snap them out of whatever funk.
All of us who have kids know that you got to distract at some point. There's going to be a time where whatever it is that they're focused on and they aren't going to be able to get any more of, that becomes the thing that they're just amplifying, cries, anger, whatever it is. You distract with a good, solid dad joke, even if it just allows them to bust your balls. Congratulations. Dad win right there. Big dad win.
Dad win. Okay, coming in at number 3 is a fella named Nicholas G. He goes by the title at @AT_law.
Okay.
He wrote, babies love to sweep everything off the tray of their high chair onto the ground while yelling at everyone in sight. Like tiny, angry police captains from crime shows.
Yes, that is it. I didn't authorize this. Damn it, Bane. If you blow up one more gas station, you're out of here. Do you know what the mayor will do to me? Yes, that is exactly. If they could just enunciate like that, it would be fantastic. I love it.
See, really, what you need to do is get some video of your kid doing that, like taking their shit on their tray, sweeping it on the floor, overlaying some great police captain.
Yes, I may make a recommendation. I always love Beverly Hills Cop when Eddie Murphy is being yelled at there by Joey Pants. That would be something that I would want to have. Use that as the overdub as your kid is screaming whatever bloody murder they're screaming and probably not understanding what they're saying.
Absolutely. Or Last Action Hero, which is a fantastic captain. Which I think in that one, if I recall right, doesn't he like stop at some point and go, was that too much? Like he's a really sensitive guy. I think that's the movie, right?
Yes, I think
he's like,
right.
Was that too much? Are you okay? Like, how did I handle that? Right?
Yeah.
Am I doing this right? That guy.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, and this one hits very close to home. Have to admit, this one comes with a photo, but I think from the tweet you'll get the picture. Okay. The photo is fantastic. This is from James Breakwell from Exploding Unicorn. He's everybody knows him.
Okay.
This one says, 11-year-old. It's old person day at school. Me. What does that mean? 11-year-old. I dressed up like mom. Me. Don't tell her that if you want to live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a little secret for dad. That's a dad secret. That's something that everybody will hide. But that's not something the mom needs to know about.
Just between you and me, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funnier that way. There's no reason to, you pass that on. You have to explain it. It's the whole thing. It's funny the way it is right now.
And this one is also a picture, and I don't know how to describe this other than if you're familiar with Different Strokes, it's the what you talking about Willis face.
You talking about Willis?
It's not that photo, but you can imagine that expression in your head. Yeah, that is the face that this fella is making. The tweet is from @TheMultipleMom. And it says, a picture, right? My 5-year-old, after explaining to him that telling bald-headed people they look like Thanos is not a compliment that he thinks it is.
Yes. Oh. Now.
Yeah. So we're big MCU people in this house too. So I sent this one to my kid at school, middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I got back like laughing my fucking ass off from her.
Absolutely. I will first of all,
that's my number 1.
That's I'm going to take that one as a number 1 here too. I think that's a solid. The other ones were all very good. Hold on, let me go to the judges real quick and see what our judges say. Judges?
Fucking damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking damn it.
Okay, gotcha. She agrees as well. So we are going with that one as the number 1 pick, and I will add a little bit to that. My daughter Charlie, when she was young, we were living in Connecticut at the time, and we would go to this one park that all the kids, it was just massive kids everywhere. And it was a great mixture of kids all over the place, all different kinds of ethnicities, all grade levels. It was fantastic. And so, she'd go and try to play with some of the older kids, and the older kids are like, fuck you, you're little. We're going to go play with kids our age. And then she'd try to get a bunch of kids to play together. And she was trying to get this one girl to play with her. And she came running over to me and said, Daddy, she won't play with me. I'm like, well, who were you talking to? And she pointed out to this one little girl, brown hair over there. And I'm like, that one over there. And she goes, no. The one who looks like Dora the Explorer, in the loudest voice she could possibly say. It was this Hispanic girl that was literally no more than 2 feet in front of her who was coming over to play with her. And she was turning around to point to her, Dora the Explorer. And I was like, okay, first of all, she looks like Dora. I hope she would take that as a compliment. I hope that's just not like throwing a Hispanic racist remark out there because it's who you're trying to relate to in your mind for having
kids honesty, man. That's what it is. It's just, and for your kids' perception too. That I mean, she's like, okay, in my head, right? The same way that I just described the what you talking about, Willis, expression, right?
Imagery, right?
It's imagery. It's iconic. In the photo that I talked about, the man happens to be African American. So in my head, I saw him. I made that connection. Nothing racist about it, but it's just those connections your brains make. And for her, like, I'm sure she was watching a bunch of Dora at the time, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that is how she was relating to me at the time. That's the best way she could describe it. The girl who looked like Dora. Right. And to be fair, this little girl had a singing backpack. So I don't know how.
That's a dead. I mean, what an easy comparison. Then. Like, no shit.
The backpack did not sing. It was the map inside that was the one that was singing at the time. No, so it was a little embarrassing.
There was
me at the moment.
A monkey? Was there a monkey too?
Right. Man, and she just randomly say weird things in Spanish, just that meant absolutely that's out of no place. Right. That was something I remember a lot of. I mean, I distinctly remember that. I was at the time I was kind of slightly embarrassed, but I'm like, I get where she's going with this. She's not off base with this altogether, off base at all. So all right. When we come back, Chad,
yes,
I found is one of the best moments for a dad that I could think of. I try to put myself in this dad's position. I feel like he's the luckiest guy on the face of the earth. But let me just give you a little bit before we go to the tape.
All right, let's go.
What the? It's so good.
Once again.
What the? It's so good.
All right, that's coming up here in just a minute as we go to the tape. But first, and I know that I'll let you come to me with any advice you have on this, but I want to bring up just one other element of playing at the park. And this one goes to a piece of advice that I saw a person talking about their situation, a dad talking about their situation on Reddit. And I've got definitively some of my own personal moments that come from this, but here's the story from Reddit. My 4-year-old goes out of nursery at 2:40 in the afternoon. The nursery is connected to my kid's school. Most days I take my daughter home because I live 2 minutes away, and my wife is usually home. Today she was out. So I have to hang around the school till my older kid gets out because one of them isn't old enough to walk home yet. So it makes sense, right? He's going to pick up the younger one, wait there for a little bit, get the older one, head back home. Anyways, sometimes my 4-year-old asks me to play with her because she just gets bored waiting there with other kids her age, but are usually off running about anywhere. So I'm playing with my kid and I hear a voice very loudly saying, "Oh my God, what's he doing? That's not normal. What the fuck is that guy doing?" Now, I know it was aimed at me because at this point, there's me and one other dad who's about 20 feet away talking to another parent out of the corner of my eye. I spot 3 women laughing and saying, "That's not normal." They must have said it about 20 times in the space of maybe 2 minutes. One of them said, "I don't know how you can say that. I'm not brave enough, or I'd go say something, maybe in a few months." Now, I've been taking my kids to this school for roughly 10 years. I have never seen these people before because of the new nursery people are changing the school because it has less than 100 kids. I wish she would have attempted to say something because I would have ripped her a new one. But nope, she was too cowardly. So now I'm the weird guy. Great.
Yeah. Fuck those bitches. Oh, Jesus. This is this is one of these things.
You were right on the bitches. I said moms. Let's be clear. Could have been nannies too. Could have been aunts. I don't know. So you're right. Bitches would probably just be the right way to
just covers it all. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like this is the, this is the male version of, she was dressed slutty, so she was asking for it. It's like, come on, stop making fucking assumptions about people. God, people. Like, here's the thing. I want people to be more like Walt Whitman, right? Be curious, not judgmental,
right?
Unless like Herman Goring, right? Shoot first and ask questions later. Like, what the fuck?
Clear distinction there. Yeah, it's a very clear distinction. Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's not like the dad in this case is like trying to get the kid to come with him to a windowless white van someplace.
Right. He's not holding candy with the van door open and the fucking thing running. Right.
He's not wearing a trench coat. Like there's none of that. That's like the kind of, he's playing with his kid, had been playing for some period of time. I'm guessing, and I'll call this just a simple guess. Even if you are a new parent at that school, you've seen that dad pick up a kid at some point. You've seen it happen.
Hopefully you have.
Yeah. So even then, if the kid seems fine, if the kid's not screaming like, who the fuck is this guy? Get him away from me.
Right. Stranger danger.
You're in good shape. I think you're all right with this. I don't get the cluster think that will go on in those situations. But it goes, I'll even say this, it goes further than this. And I'm trying desperately to remember what the exact wording was, Chad. I was a stay-at-home dad for a while there when Charlie was young. Kim was working. I was out of work. I was the stay-at-home dad. So I was picking up, dropping off from school, taking to the park, play dates. That was all my responsibility. I was taking care of all of that. And I did a fucking good job of it. There was a dad that I didn't know about until later, but there was this little girl that Charlie liked, was friends with, and they would come over to our house and have a play date, and I would watch them do their thing, and I would do some work, and they're having fun playing or down in the basement playing, doing whatever they're doing, right? And then I would take the little girl home because her mom worked. I'd drop her off at home when they were all done, having their play date, and everything was good. Dropped her off one time. The dad was there. He thanked me. I thanked him. Said, let's have a play date over here at one point. I thought, oh, that's cool. When I got home, the mom had called Kim, my wife, and told her that we couldn't have any more play dates going forward, especially at their house, because the dad thought I was a sex offender because I was hanging out with the two kids all day and I was not at work. And so that apparently makes me a sex offender in his world, in his eyes, because he's working and I was out of work. I was home with my one daughter at the time and a play date that we're playing over. I made them lunch. Like I was a fucking good host for a play date. I got to be honest with you. And because I don't even know the last time, I don't know the last time he had a play date with his daughter, but because of that, he places this judgment on me that I'm something filthy because I have two girls over my house that were probably about 5 or 6 at the time having a fucking play date.
God.
So it goes beyond. I think I don't want to. Again, I would
it's
say
not
this
just
to
women
him.
for
Right,
sure.
I would say this to him. He's a bitch in this front as well. So
he absolutely is.
But
fuck that bitch.
Fuck that bitch. Seriously. And anybody who's the cast, I'll be the first one to cast judgments. I do that on occasion. I usually use my inside voice or put it out on a podcast here. But for the world to hear,
right? I mean, but if we can't rant.
But I think the statement you made about how be curious about it, like it's good to be curious about shit like that. It better than labeling something or even out loud saying that's weird. What about if that poor girl heard that and then started to think, why is it weird that I'm playing with my dad? You're setting up a huge fucking failure on that front because of your stupidity. Because you're like, oh, we're 3 hanging out over here. That crazy dad playing with his daughter. You know what? I swear to God, I'd be willing to bet everything on this. That kid was having more fun with her dad than any of those kids and their moms were having. Definitive.
1,000%. 1,000%. There's definitely this weird stigmatism for like stay-at-home dads or dads that are involved in their kids' lives. And largely it's a societal cultural thing, right? We've always been this society where dad goes to work, dad comes home, mom stays at home, that kind of, traditional family, nuclear family thing. And we live in a time where that's just not the reality. Number one, because both parents work a lot of the time, they share the duties. And so there has to be this, open-mindedness that comes along with all of that.
Yeah.
And, those women, assuming that they were the moms and not nannies, if their husbands are rich and powerful, whatever, lawyers, doctors,
right,
whatever the fuck, and that's how they do it. Cool. But, don't bring your judgy shit up into my business.
No.
And really the way that they should have handled that, in my opinion, is that be curious, not judgmental. Like, okay, so, let's do a little massage shit here. Like, let's go up there and psychologically sniff this out. Like, hey, how you doing? Which one's your kid?
Right.
Like, ask that question.
Is this your daughter? Oh, this is my son, or this is my daughter.
Oh, how cute. That's my kid over there. Yeah. Let's get them to play together. Right. Just a simple question like that. Just that simple curiosity answers a lot. Now, maybe if I am a sex offender, I say, oh, that kid's mine. Right. And the kid's
Right.
like, then we'll know.
Right. Or, yeah, this is my daughter, Tracy. And she's like, that's not my name. Like, that's a good sign. That would be a
I know.
tip. That would be a good thing. Congratulations for you. You've done a very good job there, Sherlock.
Then you've been curious and judgmental all at once, right? It works out, and then you're saving the world from a weirdo. But I think part of the problem is media too. Like, we live in a society too where it's, what's the deepest, darkest way humanity behaves, and let's put that on the news, let's put that on the internet,
right?
And then we all get this fear thing going in our head, right? It's that fight or flight. It goes back to like when we lived in caves and, here comes the saber-toothed tiger. Oh shit. So to these women, and because they've been programmed by media, they're like, oh shit, this guy's a saber-toothed tiger.
Right.
It's an immediate response. And so that's a troubling trend.
I would also say, because whatever's happening in their lives, clearly they're not seeing enough of, daddy-daughter togetherness, for whatever reason there. So their presumption is there's some weird shit going on here, because they don't see that part of it, and they're largely responsible for that element of things. But look, I mean, the greater story here is that if they're saying that shit to each other, they're probably going to say something like that to their kids. And now you're going to poison your kid's mind when you go to school and you're back with that other kid who was playing with the dad. And that's the part that I can't stand about this. Like, if you want to have that conversation and that talk with those parents on your own at some point when the kids are away, have it. Don't have it out loud at the play yard. And also don't fucking give me the look like I'm some filthy perv for playing with my daughter at a park because you think you're hot and the only reason I'm there is to hit on you. Fuck you. I'm there with my daughter. I am not hitting on you. I'm not looking at you. I'm not fucking stop impressing yourself. I'm there to take my daughter to the park and let her slide down a slide. I could give a shit what kind of jeans you're wearing. Now, I will make a judgment if you are a guy that's there with your kids and you're wearing a shirt that says I love pussy. That I'll make a judgment on. I have no problem making. I won't say anything out loud, but I will judge the shit out of that shirt. No problem in my mind. If you're a guy and you're wearing a shirt that says I love lesbians, I will judge the shit out of you. Don't get me wrong, but I won't point it out to my kid, because I don't want my kid saying what's in my stupid head getting back to your kid. That's not okay, and I don't want that to happen. Which, by the way, I have seen people at
park with those shirts on.
I love pussy.
Oh my God.
Shirt. And then a few weeks later, same guy, I love lesbians.
Well, I mean, congratulations to the asshole who sold him those shirts. That's capitalism at work, folks.
Or the asshole who gifted him those shirts. Like, hey,
right. Either one. His girlfriend, like, hey, honey, I bought you this shirt.
Listen, I know Father's Day is coming up. I got this great shirt idea for Trevor. He's going to love it. I know he always talks about me trying to get in the threesome. He's always talking to me and my friends about doing something at a party. When the kids are awake, I can't do that. But I know he will love this shirt, this I Love Lesbians shirt.
He will.
It means so much to him.
It will. And he's going to wear it to bed every night. It's just going to be our little secret.
I'm sure he won't wear it out of the house.
No, he never will. He's smart enough. He's smart enough not to wear that out of the house.
Why would he would never wear that to the park where other people around would see?
Oh, I'd be mortified if he did.
And then, because why? Because I know Trevor. He's that kind of guy. He doesn't want to answer the question of our son/daughter, whoever it is that's at the park with him. Daddy, what's a lesbian? Like, he doesn't want to have to answer that question. And why do you love them? He doesn't want to have to answer that question. I trust Trevor that way.
Trevor.
Piece of shit, Trevor.
I know. If only you and I could hang out at the park together like that, and here comes Trevor with his lesbian shirt.
You know what I would do if you and I were hanging at that park and people were looking at us weird? I would turn to you and I would chat. I would say to you, well, that's gayer than what we did, right?
Yes,
when we come back, we will get to the tape, and we will also figure out who's going to be entered into our worst parent of 2022 tournament.
We got some players this week.
Winners. And oddly enough, none of them wearing a shirt that says I love lesbians at a park. None of them
that we know of.
At least, yeah, that's a good point. None of them pictured in the story that way, at least. When we come back here at the Dad's Home Podcast, please stick around.
Hi, this is Lance with Cockshot. You're going to be feeling wonderful all day because you're going to be taking shots at cocks left and right like a pro. Now, here's a guy, one shot to the cock, Mild testicle damage, 2 shots. Destroyed cock in seconds. Now watch this. You're going to add in some garlic, okay? Here we go. I'm going to put some garlic in. All right. And you keep going. You completely blow apart that cock. I mean, it's gone. And you got a piece of garlic mashed to a dick. Now, you love tapping guys in the nuts, but you don't like touching balls with your hands. You know you don't like guy berries anywhere near your fingers. That's why you wear gloves in the public restroom. 1 shot. Cock salad. Now, look, I love a good ball punch as much as the next guy, but once in a while, you really got to send a message to make sure they don't forget. This is going to change the way you punch dicks. Big dicks, little dicks, crooked dicks. 5 seconds. 4 or 5 seconds, the guy's on the ground, you really hurt his branch. Now, see, this nut shot is boring. Stop having a boring nut shot. Stop having a boring life. Cock shot these 2 guys here. Voila, it's a miracle. Congratulations, yada, yada, yada. Now, here's a hard-boiled egg. It's kind of like a testicle. Look at that, unrecognizable. Now, add a cornichon for the dick, and here we go. Don't have time to screw up your balls? Now you do. So here's the deal, kids. You buy the cock shot, you're going to get the Crundleman for gravy. Brown gravy, white gravy, inside the modifier, ignite the salt, and watch this. Hot dog, bauxite, Dave Matthews Band, sex with a horse. It's so easy. If I can cock shot someone with 1 finger, you can do it with your whole hand. I mean, blast somebody's dick out the back of their jeans. Kids can do it. I'm talking serious dick damage. Guys, we're going to make America's meat bananas hurt 1 cock shot at a time.
I just slap a cock, wash it, and put it away.
It's a very quick dick punch. It's a real time saver. It's so easy. It's just like bam, 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 bam. My boyfriend gets so winded.
The cock shot sells for $4.95, but if you call on March 21st, 2018, you're going to get the Crundleman free plus 9 Jesus cards. Here's how to order.
To order your cock shot plus free Crundleman and Jesus cards, just dial 1-800-FUCK.
Back to the Dad's Home podcast, but first, more dad jokes.
You know, a lot of people, conservative people, say that gay people getting married, it would violate the sanctity of marriage. The sanctity of marriage. Is anybody here married? Yeah. Does it feel like a gift from God to you? Sanctity? The sanctity of marriage. First of all, what would Jesus do? Not get married. All right, that's the first thing. That's lesson number 1. Because Jesus could have never accomplished the things he had to accomplish if he had been married. Let's face it. How long are you going to be up there? You know what I mean? Not only do I think gay people should be allowed to get married, I think they should have to get married because I'm a little tired of their happy-go-lucky lifestyles. They should have to suffer just like everybody else. I'm tired of walking by these sidewalk cafes. You see these dudes sitting there all tan and fit, you know. Some of these guys are 60 years old. They still look great because they don't have someone at home sucking the will to live right out of them.
Welcome back to the Dad's Home podcast. All right, we have got a to the tape to get to here, which I think is going to be bring a smile to all dads' faces. And I don't know, I made me try to think like what's out there that my kids could find? What's out there that I don't know that it would make them happy. It certainly might make them shocked. But we'll find out in just a second here. Plus, we're going to get to the one. I don't think we'll have 2 entries into the Dad's Home Worst Parent of 2022 bracket. But it is March. It's March Madness, and it's time to talk about those parents that need to be introduced. So, Chad, before we get into that, here's the tease once again that I think all dads will be happy with.
What the? It's so good.
It's time to go to the tape.
We bring the absurd to your ear holes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. To the tape.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Obviously, a problem with that tape. The wrong tape loaded in there.
We'll do it live.
We apologize. We don't have that clip from the radio station.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
But tape don't lie.
Nope. And it's time to go to it here. Now, the story here, Chad, is, and you'll hear CNN kind of tell details about it. A dad left something in the car. Kid found something in the car. And instead of it being
a blunt, not a blunt.
Instead of it being a call to Child Protective Services, it went much better than that. Let's hear the reaction of what happened here and the story from CNN.
An Arizona teenager is having a ball, a disco ball, discovering his disco dad, aspiring musician Zach Montana got in his dad's truck and a CD came on.
What the? It's so good. It's disco, but it's so good.
And then he heard a familiar voice. Zach's dad used to tour with the band Boston, but this song was news to his son.
Oh my God. And he never released it. I'm so mad at him.
So Zach released it on TikTok. And father and son ended up on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Why do you have a CD player in your car, by the way? Because I'm old.
70 years old, but William Curly Smith wasn't too old to perform Surrender to Me. Come on, tell me, do you want to love? Wrap yourself around me like Steve Dyke. Performed it with his son, a newly formed group, Fire City Funk. Fans raved online. That's a banger, and begged, please release this. Back in the late 70s, Smith said he couldn't get a record deal.
So I just put it on a shelf for 43 years, and every now and then I would listen to it and go, hey, that was pretty good.
So good, it's now on Spotify, streamed over 1 million times. It feels so right. No one's feeling it more than his son. Disco Dad has circled back from the 70s. Surrender to me. Oh, we surrender all right. Jeannie Mose, CNN.
I mean, come on. How cool is that, right?
That is super badass. And I swear to God, I'm going to make that my kid's walk-up song now.
And listen, just so we're all clear on this, you heard it a little bit there, but this is what the song actually sounds like. I mean, listen to that riff. Right? I mean, come on. That's pretty solid. Imagine your kid just finds that in the car, in the CD player, because you were like, I might as well give it a listen. It'd be pretty cool to listen to it.
Yeah.
That thing's got already on YouTube has over 95,000 views from that song.
Oh, and that's just today. Like, I mean, right. I'm sure that's going to go nuts, especially now that CNN's picked that up. And
yeah,
I mean, it's on Spotify. Jesus.
I'm going to go buy it.
What a great story.
It's on iTunes yet, but I'm going to go buy it. It's a great story.
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
Mind, it's just a tad bit different from what we've heard in the past. Like the last thing I can think of, I go, what my girls find? Like I've got a bunch of old cassettes in the house here that have old air checks from my radio days that they'll find. I've loaded some up on the computer. I plan on releasing them as part of podcast things that I'm working on. So old shitty air checks, like from my college.
Hey,
so my voice is up.
Hey, Dad.
Time. Yeah.
Dad, what's a cassette?
That's the thing. They had to buy me a little thing that looks like a fucking Walkman that plugs in USB into the back of my computer just so I can pop a tape in and hit play, and then I can record it into the computer and archive it that way.
God,
I don't have anything in the house. I don't have a car that has a cassette player. I don't own a cassette player. Charlie, who's 14, just said for her birthday coming up here, she's going to be turning 15. She wants a cassette player. She was with some friends.
Look at that.
At an old
like it, old school. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in an old record store. She's got a turntable and vinyl. Like we got our Green Day record and Billie Eilish on vinyl. So she's got some stuff to listen to. She wants a cassette player, but like not a boombox cassette player, like a real honest to goodness, like through speakers cassette player. And then she wants like Green Day and Weezer and a bunch of other cassettes that she saw there. And I'm like, how can I turn that down? It's pretty cool. Plus, now I'll finally have the ability to listen to my old air checks that I have. I've got shit on that they don't technically make. DAT tapes. I've got.
Oh, sure. I know. I've got DAT tapes.
I've got mini discs. Remember the mini discs? How hot those were for a split second. I have mini discs that I have audio air checks on. So that to me is about what my kids might find that would be of any kind of interest that they could go, wow, Dad did that. As opposed to one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is, so my dad wrote a porno. So my dad wrote a porno.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fantastic. And the whole, if you haven't heard the concept, the brief concept behind it is this guy found that his dad in his leisure time was writing adult porno books. and then putting them online to sell them. And so this guy's podcast is him taking dad's book and reading every chapter on the podcast. It's fucking hilarious. It's absolutely
gold.
the best.
It is. It's gold.
To think about these things that the dad's saying and then in writing, and then they're reading it, and he's like embarrassed to the nth degree about his stuff his dad said. That's absolutely amazing. So that's the almost polar opposite to that, but yet incredibly successful. So, Chad, I don't know if we've got anything in your parents' background that we can find. I'm going to look for stuff in my parents' background that I can find that we might be able to dig up and be able to use on some level or play or have some fun with. But for that kid to find that track from his dad is fucking amazing. That is stellar. And he's so stoked. He got his dad's song on, not only aired on Jimmy Kimmel and played live on Jimmy Kimmel, but then get the amount of downloads that they're getting right now. That dad's got to be so stoked by that.
That is, yeah. And the fact that his kid is the one who's like, oh, dad, like, we got to go. We got to do this.
Yeah.
That's a tribute to that dad, too, who raised that kid, who, A, is the musician that he is. B, though, that they have the kind of relationship where he's like, oh, dad, let's go. Like, I'm going to take you to the next level.
And have the passion for that music. Like, even if it's not his favorite kind of music to listen to be able to go, this is fucking good for what it is. This is really good. People need to hear this. That's goddamn impressive. I love that kid so much that he's unbelievable. I wouldn't let him date my daughter, but I love that kid so much. I just want to say that now. I mean, is
it tattoos or what?
Not getting near my kid, but I love him and I think he's great. I just want to, appreciate him from afar is what I'm looking for here.
Well, I mean, he's in Phoenix, so you're good. You're in Michigan. It's
a good point. Yeah. He's not coming up here, and we're not going down there anytime. So that's you're to the tape.
Seriously, do they even make tape anymore? Who needs tape? I think we've advanced from the whole tapey thing.
All right, Chad, we've got a number of people that are interested, and by interested, they have no idea we're doing this, but they are going to be possibly up for candidacy of the worst parent of the year, 2022. So let me read a couple of them to you, and you let me know what your thoughts are as we get. Okay. We have one spot open. We don't have a ton of spots open here. So starting off with story number 1. This is about a mom who apparently had a little too much to drink. That's it could be a bad sign for starting out of a story here. And this mom on a Valentine's Day weekend sleepover party for tween girls that included watching the film Titanic. The party turned bizarre and tearful after parents say Oklahoma 5th Congressional District candidate Abby Broyles allegedly became drunk and berated some of the children in attendance. Now, how old are you talking about these kids? 12 and 13. So it's not like you're talking about 6 or 7-year-olds. I think we take that into account here. But the party held at the home of a Deer Creek Public Schools parent on February 11th included 8 girls between the ages of 12 and 13. Broyles was allegedly at the home the night of the party of the invitation of the homeowner, who is the mother of one of the children. According to multiple accounts of the evening, Broyles became intoxicated and spoke derogatorily to some of the girls. She allegedly called one girl an acne fucker, which prompted the girl to leave the room in tears.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but I mean...
It's cut those 2 words together, acne fucker.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I could call my buddies that because they could take it, but a fucking 13-year-old girl, yeah, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Broyles allegedly called another girl Hispanic fucker and another
here we go
judgy fucker. At one point, Broyles allegedly...
Is that because she couldn't remember their names? Or what the fuck? That's, judgy fucker.
Chad, they had 8 girls there. Are they expecting her to remember every name of every girl there? No.
Well, but you pointed out that she's a potential politician. Like, that's her fucking job, right? Like, aren't you supposed to be good at remembering people's names?
Well, it's that and calling somebody a Hispanic fucker and judgy fucker.
Just stop right. Yeah, that's like, you just lost the election there.
Just so you know, at one point, Broyles allegedly vomited into a laundry basket and got into one girl's shoes. Got the vomit on one girl's shoes.
Are we sure this is not a Hollywood, like a plot for a script in Hollywood?
No, but it sounds brilliant, doesn't it?
Oh my God.
So that's story number 1, the drunk mom at the Valentine's party. Story number 2 comes to us, and I think this might be the winner, but I don't want to side this for anybody. This is 2 people are facing child endangerment charges after their 7-month-old was found allegedly choking on fentanyl, according to police. Police responding to a 911 call about a baby that was choking. Officers in the Oxford County Sheriff's Office arrived at the apartment on Mason Street and found the child in distress. Officers took the baby outside to an ambulance, began treating him. After speaking with the parents, they said they discovered the baby was exposed to fentanyl, possibly from a straw that was on a bed where parents shared with the baby. Police say they administered Narcan to the child, and they got him to an area hospital. The child has been placed in temporary custody with the Maine Department of Human Health Services. The two parents, 27, and by the way, just for the record, because it's important to know, one of the parents' name is Echo Dunn. Echo and Robert Pilgrim, yes, both face a charge of endangering the welfare of a child. Okay, so that's story number 2.
Oh, my God.
Story number 3 comes to us from the Motor City right here in my backyard. A Detroit father is charged after his 2-year-old son was shot in the face with a BB gun. According to prosecutors, Melvin Phillips, in the non-fatal shooting which took place Friday at the home on Bedford Road in Detroit, police say Phillips was handling a BB gun that was kept in a china cabinet which struck the child in the lip. Phillips and the child's mother took him to a local hospital for treatment. While at the medical facility, the parents were met by police officers who investigated the house, where they eventually removed the BB gun. The father has been charged with 1 count of second-degree child abuse. He was arraigned Monday and held on $10,000 bond. So, dad shoots the 2-year-old son in the face with a BB gun. The parents, very responsible is Echo, had their kid play with a straw that had been laced with fentanyl, or the drunk mom at the party cursing out the girls, 12 and 13-year-olds that were at the sleepover.
Jesus fucking
What
Christ.
say you here, Chad? We got to pick one that's going to move forward here.
Yeah. So, it is like, what an idiot shooting his kid in the lip. Number one, it's a BB gun. So it could
have been worse.
It could have been worse, right? It could have been the 4-year-old that killed himself in a car,
right?
While his 13-year-old sister was in the car with him and his mom was inside shopping. So it could have been that. So, just based on the fact that that's the kind of competition he's going up against, he's like a 16 seed against the number 1 seed. Like there's
Gotcha.
like,
So are you saying we're dropping him? We should drop him altogether.
He's
right
out.
now.
He's out.
All
Yeah,
right, he's done. So now it comes down to the parents.
I mean, shitty that you shot your kid in the face, but I mean,
Right.
let's be honest. What parent hasn't wanted to do that? Just we never do. We don't. Good parents don't do that shit. But I mean, there's been some times where my kids like, I'm gonna shoot you in the face.
We contemplate. I usually end up flicking them really hard in the head on some level, but it's not a BB gun, and it doesn't
Inside voice,
usually
folks.
require-
Inside voice. Yeah, use your inside voice. Inside your head voice.
So now we're down to the final 2. The mom who got drunk, vomited in the laundry basket and the shoe, as well as cursed out some of the kids who's running for office, or the parents who allowed their 7-month-old to be touching a fentanyl-laced straw of some kind.
Well, so, I'm not a political consultant, but I would say that if you're running for office, that, being drunk, berating some 13-year-olds and throwing up in a laundry basket is probably not a great political strategy to get reelected or elected, either however she's.
Yeah, I think this is her just running. I don't think this is re-election. I think she's
running. So
yeah.
she's a not an incumbent, whatever.
Candidate.
Yeah,
I guess.
So yeah, no, I'm gonna say not a great way to do that. However, becoming drunk and berating some kids while horrible and shitty, and I definitely am enjoying the Schadenfreude. Like, you fucking idiot! What a great fucking story! Like, I would love to meet you and make fun of you, like your face, right? Like, you threw up in a laundry basket.
Listen, you acne fucker.
Like throw that back at her.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you and your Hispanic fucker friend take the judgy fucker and get out.
I mean, poor judgment, getting drunk at a party.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, of the 3, the worst offender here has to be the parents. And really, you know what? Not for the fact that there's a straw in the bed with fentanyl in it, but the fact that they fucking sleep in the same bed as their kid.
7 months old. The kid should be in his own fucking crib already. What are you doing?
Seriously.
Come on now.
I mean, sure, the fentanyl kid has to go to the hospital, all that shit. That's bad. That's bad. Don't get me wrong.
Bad. Yeah, we're not saying that's acceptable.
I do not approve.
No.
Approve.
We're not passing
But
it.
I mean, don't fucking sleep in the same bed with your kid. Done. Like, come on, that's terrible parenting.
All right. Now, Chad, this is where we disagree, because I think the cursing drunk mom is going to, I think she deserves this one because her one child was there. One of her children was at that party.
So she gets to see mom.
And she gets to see mom act out that way. She has, 7 of her friends that are all the same age that have seen mom not only curse out in a very racist form, but then also judging one's complexion, apparently, and then later vomiting in a laundry basket in one kid's shoes. That's a pretty fucked up thing to do as a parent. Like, it's one thing if you were doing that at home once the kid is gone, like everybody's going out to pizza or laser tag, and you're like, that fucking kid with the acne, that's one thing. If you're saying it in front of them and you know that shit's going to come back to your daughter later on when she's at school because all these 7 kids who used to be her friend are going to be passing on the friendship. They're going to take a hard pass on doing anything with Bethany now going forward. They're like, fuck Bethany. Did you hear her mom called somebody an acne fucker? I'm not going. Bethany is not getting invited to laser tag. I don't care if she pays for 3 cards. She is not going to laser tag. Her mom called somebody a Hispanic fucker. That's not okay. We may have to put this up for a vote on the Twitterverse. We may have to give this one.
We do, because I'm in an impasse. I'm not backing down. Like the fentanyl in the bed, your kid fucking goes to the hospital, and then sleeping in the same bed with the kid. That's an unforgivable offense for me.
Don't get me wrong. They fucked up. That kid could have died, and instead, the kid's gonna be fine. I don't know, maybe a little bit of may have an aneurysm at 12. I have no idea. I don't know what happens with fentanyl, but at the end of the day,
might have a tick the rest of his life. Yeah.
The one thing that seems clear, and I don't know, we wouldn't know for some years. The kid's 7 months old. That I believe that the mom and the therapy is probably going to cost a hell of a lot more right now for the 13-year-old daughter who was getting yelled at. Who all of the friends. Did she yell at her own daughter? Did she call her daughter? What if she called her daughter an acne fucker? Oh my God.
That's like the great Santini, right? Like he treated his kid like shit, right? And so no therapy there for that kid. And that kid, I'm sure, like to your point, right? Her social life is absolutely over.
It's over now. It's done.
Yeah.
Everybody's taking a hard pass. She's going to have to move. I'm not even saying school.
Two or three states.
Yeah. She's going to have to move away. Her mom is running for office. This shit is going to catch up. We're already hearing the story. Hopefully somebody recorded it on their phone. Hopefully one of those 13-year-old kids was smart enough to get audio footage to use that.
Of course they did.
Oh my God.
Because I'm sure she's like, oh yeah, y'all need to delete that shit off your phone, right? Like, is that and then and of course I'm sure she got up.
Listen, acne fucker, hand me your phone. You're not
gonna delete some shit.
You're not gonna leave here until you hand. I don't know if you recorded that shit. Hold on. Hispanic fucker, take acne fucker's phone. Take your phone. Come on, judgy fucker, just grab it. It's like the worst names for the 7 dwarves ever.
And of course she's a politician, right? So she also, I'm sure, completely denied any of that happened. I was out of town.
And then talk to my people. Yeah, it was medication. I was on medication.
Yeah,
I hadn't taken it before. And so I wasn't sure what was going to happen when I drank 4 bottles of wine, but now we know. And I would make the suggestion please elect me, please.
I know. I won't make that mistake again in the next week.
Right. Yeah. It was all the Sudafed, man. That's what happened to you. It wasn't the fucking rosé that you drank so much of. It was the Sudafed. That's what the problem was. Congratulations. Good for you. Well, look, we're going to leave you with a little bit of music, Dad's disco music for you. But also I want to say this, go to our Twitter handle at Dad's Home Podcast. We're going to put a vote up there through the entirety of this next week for you all to vote and let us know which one of those 2 parents gets the spot. There's one open spot. Is it the drunk mom who called one kid an acne fucker and everybody else was a fucker, or the parents who let the 7-year-old touch the fentanyl straw and have to be rushed to the hospital because of choking? Who gets the worst parents of the year nod that goes into the bracket that we've got going? Reach out to us when you see the voting. Vote, cast your vote. Tell your friends to cast their vote as well at dadshomepodcast.com. Until then, for Chad and myself, Chad, are you done with your drink? I'm finished mine already.
Hold on.
Yeah, got to finish that sucker up here. We're going to play you out with a little Surrender to Me from Fire City Funk, as we heard the guys play on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and the kid who was very happy with the dad here, as we let you go on your Dad's Home Podcast. Until next time, for Chad and myself, see ya. Adios, muchachos.
Girl, you're knocking me off my feet, and I need to love you tonight.